This review is made possible by Toyota of Naperville. Toyota of Naperville is the largest Toyota dealer in Illinois with hundreds of new and used vehicles in their inventory. Visit www.toyotaofnaperville.com or in person at 1488 West Ogden Avenue in Naperville, Illinois.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2020 Toyota 86 Hakone Edition. Up front is a 2.0 liter flat 4 and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission.
This video is sponsored by CarMarshal.com. If you'd like to support the channel, click the link down in the description below. CarMarshal.com advertises for over 100,000 vehicles across the US.
First of all, you might be thinking, what's Hakone? It's a Japanese word. Hakone, I think, is how you pronounce it. Again, I'm not sure. There is a road in Japan called the Hakone Skyline, and that road is a very twisty, turny, long road. It's famed for being one of the best driving roads in Asia and the world. It has a ton of turns and it's up on a mountain and it's beautiful and I would love to go one day. So Toyota named this edition after that road, that spirited driving road. It's similar to here in the US, we have the Tail of the Dragon, or Deal's Gap as a lot of people know it as. That's essentially the idea behind this car, and we'll talk about that at the end of the review, why I think they really hit the nail on the head with this car. Let's talk about what the Hakone Edition is. Well, you're looking at it. It's that awesome paint color. It's the wheels, it's the rear spoiler, and on the inside we get a lot of great accents. We get an Alcantara dash with a gold Toyota 86 emblem in it. We get the nice tan leather seats with Alcantara inserts, which really hold you really well. I'm trying to scoot back and forth and it's just not working. And so for a little bit extra money, you can actually get the Hakone Edition. It's really just an appearance package. Performance-wise, mechanically, it's the same as other GT86s, but it's something special and I really like it. I think the color is great. It's almost like a British racing green. I think it's absolutely awesome. I love the color, I love the wheels, and I think if you're going to buy a GT86 and you're not going to modify it, if you just want a fun little car, but you're not into, you know, bolting on extra parts and taking things apart and all that stuff, get this, because it's going to stand out. It's going to be a little bit more special than other GT86s, but you don't have to do anything yourself. You could just leave it as it is, and it's great as it is. So I'll put the price of this car up on the screen, and so let's talk about the drivetrain, and then we'll talk about the interior per usual with my reviews. But let's get back to that flat 4. Well, it's actually a Subaru engine. If you didn't know, this car is a collaboration between Toyota and Subaru. So the Subaru BRZ, same car underneath. But it is a flat 4 and it delivers a decent amount of power. I'll put it up on the screen here. It's nothing crazy, but it offers a very fun driving experience. It's just fun, and it's fun to just ring it out. It's a little engine, 2 liters. Is this car fast? Depends on your standards of fast. To most enthusiasts, no, this isn't generally regarded as a fast car. However, it's so fun to drive. Let's talk about the 6-speed manual. Feels great. It really has a satisfying punch into the gate. It feels great, clutch feels great, it all just feels good. And really, if you want to get into driving cars, this is such a good experience. It's low power, fun driving. And nowadays, it's kind of hard to find low power, fun driving cars. But in this stock form, this car is just so great, it's so fun to drive. And it really gives you confidence because you have that low power. You're not gonna, hit a bump and do a 720 into a ditch. At the end of the day, you're not really going that fast, so you can't really hurt yourself too bad. Of course, the GT86 is rear-wheel drive, which we absolutely love. I really think this is one of the best first cars you can get into if you want to get into driving. It has all of the right stuff. It's a little 4-cylinder, manual transmission, rear-wheel drive. I mean, if you want to do some track days, this is great. Although if you do want to do track days, I would recommend the TRD because that has bigger brakes. But if you just want to get into track days or, spirited driving, or, it's just you and you have a back road to hit, on your way to and from school or work. It's hard to beat this in terms of new cars. It's really, really hard to beat this. But enough about the drivetrain, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have three main gauges. In the center, I have a beautiful center-mounted tachometer. I absolutely love the center-mounted tachometer. I think it's an absolute must when it comes to performance cars or sports cars. On the left, I do have my speedometer, and on the right, I do have a gauge that actually kind of goes behind. I'm just now noticing it's like one screen that goes behind the plastic. Kind of looks a little weird, but I can change that. So right now I'm keeping an eye on my coolant temperature, oil temperature, and battery voltage, but we could switch it up. I could look at my time driven, total miles, average MPG, distance till empty, and then we can go over and mess with some settings as well. So we do have a lap and stopwatch timer, really, really nice. I have my lateral G-force meter. I have my acceleration versus braking. I have sort of almost like a in-car dyno, which is kind of interesting. It's showing me what looks like a dyno sheet of power. Very interesting. And then I do have settings and messages. Nothing really to see about messages, but something I found that's really cool in these settings, I could actually set my own shift light. So we'll set it here to 3,000 RPM, buzzer on. I love the fact that you can do a buzzer. So listen for it. A little light comes up, so you can keep your eyes on the road. Once you see that light, you know when to shift. And you can adjust that from 2,400 RPM all the way up to 7,400 RPM, which the red line is right about there for the car. I love the gauges, plain and simple, sporty. I love it. Now I have to turn off that shift light or else it will drive me insane. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my volume and track change as well as my mode button. Then on the right, I have my buttons for adjusting that right-hand screen. Unfortunately, I do have some dead switches on the steering wheel on the left and right. It is what it is. At the bottom right of the steering wheel, I do have cruise control. This car does have cruise control, but it's just basic cruise. To the left, I do have gauge dimmer switches and my trunk release. And then on the door, I have my window switches, lock and unlock, and power mirrors. I do have this nice Alcantara on the door as well. Very nice feature. And that's not going to be found on all GT86s. To the right of me, I do have a little touch screen. I absolutely love this because it comes with Apple CarPlay. Apple CarPlay, I think, I've said it in all my reviews that have it, it's an absolute game changer. It's the best thing in the world. And I could just get my music all right here, text messages, navigation, all in this little screen. I love the screen. It's a little bit laggy. It's not the highest of quality, but it's a GT86. What do you expect? I do have nice big volume knobs, voice commands, and power. I mean, I just think it overall looks great. You don't have to go out and get an aftermarket radio for this car. It just plug in and works. Below that, I do have a digital clock, my air conditioning and heating options, which I like the knobs. The knobs are they look like big bolts. And then I have where I can send it. Those are like toggle switches. My engine start-stop button is down here, as well as my USB in. That is how you access Apple CarPlay. The shifter looks great. Like I said, it feels great, but it does have the tan stitching to match the rest of the Hakone interior, which I really, really like. Then I have traction control off and my track button. The thing that's missing that I wish that they would add to this is the IMT system from the Toyota Corolla. I recently reviewed a Toyota Corolla hatchback that in 6-speed manual, pretty sure it had the same shift knob, and it had something called IMT, which is essentially automatic rev matching. So you don't really have to blip the throttle or anything, you just put into a lower gear and the engine will match it. That's a really nice feature, and actually the first car to have that really was the 370Z Nismo. So, in being a sporty car, a sports car, why wouldn't I have it in here? Why does the hatchback Corolla have it, but the 8.6 does not? I wish it did have automatic rev matching. But then at the very bottom, I do have 2 heated seats. These are heated seats. Absolutely love it. Speaking of seats, like I've been saying, Alcantara, tan leather, heated. They are manual though. They are not power seats, so no memory, no anything like that. They are still manual. And we do have back seats, but because I did last year's GT86 and I don't want to get in the back seat of this, I'm just going to play that review from the TRD. They're the same exact back seats. All right, so I'm in the back of
2020 Toyota 86 Hakone.
Headroom is horrible. My head is hitting the windshield. And the other issue is my driving seat. I could, I guess, pull it back, but that's with the driver being suffocated. This seat over here is touching the front seat. There's no way you could fit a person back here unless you can maybe fit 3 if your passenger scoots all the way up and then you shove someone here. But there's no way you could safely drive in that position and have someone back here. This is for putting your backpacks or luggage or something. This is not for human people. Yeah, they're not good. But let's talk about the exterior a little bit. I think the GT86 is a really good looking car. I don't think it needs a wide body kit. I don't think it needs to be put on bags. I think it's just in its stock form, this is a fun little sporty car. And I think the looks really reflect that. I love this color. I love the wheels. It's a great car. And so let's talk about that. Let's get some finishing thoughts in here. The Hakone Edition is named after a road in Japan that's for spirited driving. And those roads don't really reward you for having high horsepower because you can't really ever go in a straight line. You don't ever really nail it. Curvy roads really reward low power, agile cars. That's why Miatas and such dominate autocrosses and stuff, because autocrosses are usually in an abandoned Kmart parking lot where there's no real good straightaways. Muscle cars, AMGs, M5s, you know, those big power cars are great in straight lines. They make me giggle, they make me cry, they make me feel things that I've never felt before. But on a curvy track, this is king. Keep it up above $4,000 and you'll have a great time. This is such a fun car. And honestly, driving this around, I want to take this home. It's not going to punch you in the throat when you hit the accelerator pedal. You're not going to win many highway races in this thing, but that's not the point of this car. You can have so much fun in this car at or even below the speed limit. That's where this car exceeds. You're not gonna blow the doors off of a Porsche 911, but you're gonna have so much fun trying. And I know you're gonna try. And now, I can't really predict the future, but I'm interested to see what happens with these, because right now, this is a huge car in modifying culture. And so this is really, in my eyes, the next Nissan 240SX, where there's not going to be a lot of pure ones left. And so I feel like in 20 years, someone's going to be buying a car. They want a project car. They want to put a 2JZ into one of these, or whatever the hip motor is then. They want to do an electric swap. They're going to find one of these, and they're going to see the green and the rims, and they're going to say, oh, that's a Hakone Edition. It's something special. It's something unique. It's something different. And I really like that. Well, huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their brand new Toyota GT86 Hakone Edition. What a fun car. I mean, really, if you're looking for a new car that is fun, this or an ND Miata. That's it. But Toyota of Naperville has a huge selection of new and used cars. This is their new car, which is up on their website right now, but they have hundreds of used cars they cycle through all the time, which is absolutely great. So if you're not looking for an 8.6, if you are looking for a Miata or something else fun, spirited driving, they have tons of manual cars, tons of fun cars. Definitely go give them a look. If you're looking for a new car or any car, Toyota Naperville should be your first stop every time. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.
There goes a sight from my soul.